Hi, everybody. It's Monday, September 11th. And since it's Monday afternoon, I just squeaked in here. It's 12:01. It's just afternoon today. And we are live chats, Out Above and Beyond's live chats with Maggie and Bunny. Today, Maggie is taking a rest day. So you have Bunny. So, yes, that's what's happening today. I'm going to be doing the live chats by myself. With the hopes that Maggie will be able to join us. The plans that Maggie will be joining us again next week. So anyways, today I wanted to just talk a little bit and touch a little bit. As I said many times before in the past, Maggie and I have always discussed that when we come up with our topics for live chats, a lot of times it's what's coming up in our own life, or maybe what we are speaking to our clients about, what is coming up in our own personal field or experience. Also maybe what we're seeing in on social media or movies, TV shows, the themes that are showing up in our life. And that does happen. It comes and goes as it is, as time speeds up and slows down. You're going to see different things. Sometimes things are going to come up, and I always look at those as opportunities for healing, opportunities to observe, opportunities to take a certain path and action and inspiration, all of those sorts of things. But what it is that I'm actually going to be talking about today is maybe you need a break from healing. I was going to say take a break from healing, but I don't like to tell people what to do. So it's up to you if you want to take a break from your healing or not. But here's the quote unquote permission slip to look at if you need to take a break from healing. And all I mean by that is that sometimes we get so focused, especially when we are trying to make big changes in our lives. So when you get to your spiritual or personal sort of down, like the lowest that you feel, or something that your dirt bottom, like just the thing that helps you decide that you're going to make a big change in your life, which a lot of times that's what comes out of that. In tarot, they talk about the tower moment. So where everything seems to crumble, and then you go ahead and lift it back up. And that's because you have to kind of tear down the life that you currently have to be able to create the life that you do have. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to get rid of everything. Just like when you clean out your house, or when you move and you do a big purge, and when you decide what you're going to be taking to your new house, this is sort of the same thing. You're going to decide what it is that you want to take with you into that new life. So what kind of qualities do you want to expand, or do you want to continue? What rituals might you want to expand, continue? What circle of friends, movies, TV shows, music, a whole bunch of things can change when you are creating a new life. And sometimes, there are relationships that you do have to say goodbye to, sometimes jobs, sometimes locations, literally moving, all of those sorts of things. Sometimes they're forced upon us, so it's not something that we chose. And sometimes it is something that we chose because we say, you know what, I don't like the way that my life is leading anymore. And that's sort of what I'm touching on today, is those moments where you start to realize that the life that you are leading, or that you had been leading, was not where you wanted to be. You realized and you caught a glimpse of some other thing that you were like, you know what, I want to go in that direction. And I know for me personally, that was a lot of videos that came up when Steve, my late husband Steve, used to pick me up from work. He had a little GoPro that he would record the traffic. And I remember after he passed away, I was going through his videos and I heard myself. He would pick me up from work a lot of the time, and I would hear myself in the videos. He never put the videos with the sound on YouTube, so I didn't realize what was happening. I didn't realize until later that I complained about my job a lot. I complained about the people that I worked with. I complained about the people I talked to on the phone. I complained about a lot of the stresses that I was having. It just was not a good time in my life. And to be honest, I didn't like what I was hearing. I didn't like that I was that person, but I was completely unaware of that. I had no idea that I had slipped down that slope, because it does happen in small increments over time, when all of a sudden you look back and you're like, how did I get here? And I know that that has happened to me even in relationships and that sort of thing. So it's not uncommon. It's something that many of us do a lot of time by just a small choice that we make. Now, the good part about this is the most amazing news about that is the same thing can be said about the other way around. So we think that the mountain that we're climbing to do the healing is so big because we look at the entire mountain and where we want to go, and we don't realize that there are actually these small little incremental steps that we take to get to that place. It's the exact same thing that we do when we unconsciously or subconsciously don't even realize we're doing it. And then when we make the conscious effort to change, it just seems like a mountain that is very insurmountable. And I will tell you that that's not true. With every small little step, you can make giant leaps. Now, that being said, there does come a point where not everything is wrong with you, or nothing is actually wrong with you, is the way that I would put it. There are choices that you are going to look at, that you are going to want to change. Things that you may have done, behaviors that you may have picked up, defense mechanisms, wounds that you would want to heal, trauma that you want to look at, all of that sort of thing. There are all of those things that do exist, and you want to take care of that, but you also want to remember that you are good the way that you are. A lot of times we focus very much on fixing us and healing those things. And, not everything needs to be healed all at once. Not everything needs to be healed all right away. Sometimes some things are going to come back up. You're going to make, quote unquote, a mistake. You're going to have something that's going to show up that's going to let you know that a belief or a habit, a behavior, something that you aren't even aware of is still kind of hiding back there. And you can look at it and you can take the opportunity to heal it, correct it, change it. The biggest thing to do, though, is not to feel guilt or shame when you are doing these things, because you don't really know that you were doing them, which is why you were doing them in the first place. And even if you did know, even if you intended to hurt somebody, I know myself in the past, I have had moments where, I was having a verbal argument with somebody and they said something that really, really hurt me. And I knew that that person intentionally did that. They had all intention of hurting. You can feel the energy, you can see it in the mannerisms. You know that person knows your buttons, because usually it's the person that knows your deepest and darkest fears and insecurities, and they would use a barbed tongue and tell you something that they knew was going to cut you like a knife. And you knew that was coming. And when they did it, when they said it, I was reminded today when I was thinking about this topic that as kids, we always said, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. And I mean, yes, there is, that really essentially what that saying is to teach us is that as long as we kind of put a bubble around ourselves where we don't really let what other people think about us or say about us have any impact on our own personal feelings of worth and all of that kind of thing, then we're safe. People can say whatever they want and it wouldn't bother us. So that is definitely something that you would want to keep moving forward. But in this case, it's also what we say to ourselves. We have to be very gentle with ourselves and loving and caring with ourselves. Sometimes I have to remind myself or even clients that, would you say this to a baby? Would you say this to your mother? Would you say this to your child? Would you look at a child in the face and say some of the things that you say to yourself? If not, then maybe you got to be a little bit more gentle with yourself. And that includes those feelings of guilt or shame, or those feelings of thinking that you're broken and that you need to somehow be fixed and that there's something wrong with you. A lot of times in our societal messages, we're getting that a lot. There's something wrong with you. And in the spiritual world, we can kind of hold ourselves to a standard where it's unrealistic standard, where we would always be showing love and light, and we would never have a moment where we were upset, where we were angry, where we were scared, and all of those kind of things. And we would think that we need to be love and light all of the time. And that is not the human experience. And with being a soul, having a human experience, this is a very sacred experience. This is something that is exceptional, that you chose to have an experience of this caliber. And this, in many beliefs, there's actually a waiting list to get into physical experiences because of all of the opportunities for experiences and expansion for your soul that does take place in the physical experience because of all of the emotions that you have. So there is no hierarchy in emotions. They are all very worthy. They are all very important. And it is also important to remember there's nothing wrong with you. You are absolute perfection, just the way that you are. And you are deserving. You are deserving of everything on this planet, everything that the world has to offer, everything that the universe has to offer you. You are deserving of all of it. And I like the idea. I heard Bashar, if any of you don't know who Bashar is, it is a channeler by Daryl Anka, I believe his name is, has been channeling him, I think, since the 80s. And he talks about how you are so special. You are so unique. Without you, that puzzle would not be complete. The puzzle of creation, the puzzle of the universe would not be complete. And just the fact that you exist means that you're good enough to be here. There's nothing you have to do or not do to be deserving of existence and of this entire life. And the entire universe, as a reminder, the entire universe is created for you. Each and every one of you, the entire universe is created for you. As it is, we are experiencing the universe entirely within ourselves and within ourselves alone. Yes, we do interact and touch on and have other people as part of our experience because we've agreed to co-mingle and to have people help us along the way. And we also would offer help along the way as well. But all of that is in co-creation with each other. And thank goodness I'm not in the background right now, having to consciously understand and know all of the different ins and outs and the tech people and the stage hands and all of that stuff. Thankfully, I don't have to do that for this right now consciously. And I can just concentrate on having this human experience and living life and seeing the joys where I can see the joys. And also, just kind of being gentle and relaxing with myself. Because that's the main thing. And that's what I think for me, that's what it was, is that I have been so focused on healing all of the trauma, healing generational things, healing inner child. And that when inner child is healed, that inner teenager starts to show up and she's not happy because, she has been ignored as well. And she's the defense mechanisms and she's all of those things as well that are holding on to that and clearing up your shadow, but also being gentle, filling up your cup, but also service to others. There's so many different things. And sometimes you just need to take a break and need to know that all that stuff will still be there. So, just for a moment, just for a day, just for a week, just for however long you need, take time to take a break from your healing. Give yourself permission. You can, always pick it up later, like just like the junk drawer or the clutter that you have on a counter that is there. It'll still be there later, for you to pick it up again. So don't worry about that. We don't have to do it all at once. We can take our time because time doesn't really exist. So time is infinite. So there will always be a chance later, an opportunity. That's it for today. So remember every Monday you can see us on a Monday afternoon on Facebook Live. You can also find us wherever you have podcast or podcasts on Spotify and iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whole bunch of different podcasts. We also have our YouTube channel, so if you want to go ahead and subscribe and support us there as well, that would be fabulous. You can always reach out to us by email at aboveandbeyond@gmail.com. And if you have any questions, or if you ever want to be part of our podcast, if you'd like to be a guest on our podcast or have a topic that you would like us to talk about, go ahead and reach out to us. You can also find us on our website at aboveandbeyond.com. That's it for today. Bye.